Good morning. Happy Sunday morning. Oh, sorry. Maybe I should be drinking tea, but I wanted coffee this morning. Good morning. Let's see. Let's do this. Good morning, Just Beetle CI. Welcome to the ladies of iTalk. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Susan Dawson. Good morning. Avoiding eye contact. Tina, sweetie, how are you? I hope your wrists are doing better. Lolly and Pops, good morning. Knitting with Amanda Panda. Jimmy, oh, welcome. Jesse Roth, good morning. I'm getting ready to drop you the link. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Maria Haskins. Jezebel, my favorite name. Good morning. Michelle LaBelle, good morning. Roxy, good morning. The Black Widow channel, good morning, good morning, good morning. Just Danny, all of me, good morning. Oh my goodness, let me drop this link right quick. Let me drop this and paste. And there we go. Good morning, my breezy girl. How are you? Okay. I am late, guys. I took some cold and sinus medicine last night and I knocked myself out. Miss Can't Be Wrong. I dropped the link for you as well. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning, Heidi. How are you?
I am fine. I'm late, but I'm here.
That's okay. I still got my morning voice going. You'll have to excuse me.
I dropped the link for Miss Can't Be Wrong as well.
She'll be along soon. Oh, there she is. I see her.
Okay. Yeah, I saw her in the chat. But hear me roar. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is a beautiful Sunday morning here. It really is. But my face is swollen. My sinuses, my eyes. I'm going to show you guys. My eyes are all puffy, all in here. It hurts. So I'm not going to be on camera. I'm sorry. I can't this morning.
Yeah, I got the same thing going on too. So don't worry.
Yeah, I woke up. I had to put a nice hot washcloth on my face because my eyes didn't want to open. And I was just laying there trying to and then I started I was gonna make me some more tea with some eucalyptus in it. It's this oil that you just drop in there, and then GWS. What is go with what? What is GWS? You know it's too early in the morning. I can't get this stuff right quick. But I was purchasing tickets. Well, a ticket to go see Adam Sandler. He's gonna be here next Monday.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You were in the ER last week? Yeah, me too was in the okay. I'm sorry to hear that. All right, so Jesse,
What's up?
you get well soon, girl. Thank you. Danny, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't even get this early in the morning. Get well soon. Got you, Danny. Got you. Good morning, etc., etc. So, Susan Morphew, have you been watching this?
Watching the Murdoch
news coverage. Yes.
No, I've actually the past couple weeks I've been busy with family stuff, so really I've been watching you.
There's Miss Can't Be Wrong. So what I'm going to do is, good morning, Miss Can't Be Wrong.
Good morning.
I'm going to flip you guys around. I'm going to move me over here. And then I'm going to put Miss Can't Be Wrong up here. There we go. I'm at the bottom. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. I've been a little bit under the weather, but I'm here.
Yep, me too. Oh my God, me too. But guys, this is Jesse Roth and Miss Can't Be Wrong. I don't know if you know, but Jesse Roth has a channel and Miss Can't Be Wrong is on her panel sometimes. Well, yeah. Miss Can't Be Wrong is on a panel with Jesse as well. I went over a couple of Sundays ago and we had such a great conversation about all of these different cases. And I wanted to invite them over so we can discuss this case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play coverage from Court TV. And I want to get you guys' reaction to what's being said and what, and how all of this unfolded. Good morning, not my real name, B. How are you? Good morning, Muggsy Siegel. Hi, sweetie. So, would that work for you guys?
Oh, that's fine. That's great.
Yes,
Okay.
that's just fine with me.
Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on with Suzanne Morphew. Now, we got to remember she disappeared. She's been gone. Husband was arrested. Husband was let go. They dropped the charges without prejudice, meaning they can bring the charges back. He turned around in March or April and sued the state for violating his rights. Okay, so here we go. Share my screen. Sorry. Suzanne Morphew. Okay, let's make this bigger. So this is after her body was found. Now, they were actually looking for someone else when they found Suzanne. Okay, so here we go.
It was Mother's Day 2020 in Chaffee County, Colorado, a beautiful part of the country with mountains, trees, nature, and beautiful homes like the one owned by Barry and Suzanne Morphew. Suzanne's 2 teenage daughters were on a camping trip and had plans to spend time with their mom later in the day. Meanwhile, Suzanne's husband Barry was also away. He left early in the morning for a business trip just north of Denver in Broomfield. But those plans for that nighttime Mother's Day celebration for the Morphew family never happened. That's because Suzanne was reported missing by a neighbor after no one was able to contact her. The search for Suzanne was immediate but unsuccessful. Then, as the months went by, suspicion grew around Barry. He was arrested and charged with her murder, and more details were revealed. A mysterious tranquilizer dart cap was found in the laundry. Barry was seen dumping trash bags all over Broomfield. And Suzanne's affair with an old friend was revealed. But then, just before his murder trial, prosecutors dropped the charges against Barry. And now the skeletal remains of Suzanne were found about 50 minutes south of Morphew's home. Barry's attorneys are now insisting this is proof of his innocence. Tonight, we will look at the timeline and the evidence as we continue our investigation of the murder of Suzanne Morphew.
Now, I'm going to stop it for a second. So her bike was found on the side of a, I guess you can call it, incline. It looked like it was just thrown over the incline. Her helmet was found some miles away from that. So I think it was all staged. I'm just going to say it. It was all staged. What do you guys think so far?
With the helmet and the bike being so far apart, that's definitely, to me, smells like staged. The affair could play into it. I always get leery at first because, just because someone's a cheater doesn't mean they're, or is cheating or whatever, doesn't always mean murder. But 8 times out of 10, it has something to do with it. And as far as the location, like, I don't know, it always seems to me like missing women, for some reason, is very big in that area of the country to me. I don't know if it's just, I don't know, there's more opportunity for it.
Don't know, but she was the one having she's the one that was having the affair. She wanted out of the marriage. Okay.
Right.
I have text messages between her and her best friend, which I'm going to show those later on, to show he was mentally and emotionally abusive. And this woman was, she was going for cancer treatments. Good morning, Angela. Good morning, my Brett Hunter. Thank you. Angela, I hope everything is going well with you. Good morning. But let me see. So, Miss Can't Be Wrong, do you have any thoughts?
If now that I hear there's a possible affair, and it just seems like a setup, but affair, and she was sick. No, it sounds like a setup, and it sounds like something really bad happened.
Yep, it happened. Okay,
Mhm.
let's go, ladies.
Yep.
I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments as we take a look at a case that, if you look at it right now, seemingly remains unsolved.
Oh, it's solved.
Prosecutors did charge the husband. Then they dropped the charges. There were some legal problems prosecutors ran into. But if nobody's charged, what exactly is going on here? So let's begin with this latest development. And in a case where you have a missing person and they find that missing person's remains, that's usually great. But it seems so far, because of the timing and the place and everything else, even though they've got more evidence, prosecutors may actually have more problems with their case now.
Yep.
Believe it or not, I think it's possible. And the defense has been very aggressive along these lines. First, you've got Barry Morphew saying, don't look at me. Why are you looking at me? You know where you found the remains. There's other people that are missing down there. That's what you should be trying to figure out. Who's responsible for all these missing people in this part of Colorado? Why are you looking at me? Investigate those other cases. Try to figure it out. You know, it wasn't me. I was in the other direction. She was found south of my house. I went northeast. You know where I was that day. You've got me on video with trash bags. Don't look at me. Then you've got the fact that is true that when they found Suzanne Morphew, they were actually looking for someone else.
Yep.
So if investigators are in a certain place looking for someone else and they find Suzanne Morphew, well, could there be any connection between the other person they were looking for and who they actually found? You know, it's like, it's similar to what, not exactly the same, but it is similar to what happened in Gilgo Beach with the Long Island serial killer. They were looking for one woman and they found a whole bunch of other bodies.
Yep.
And they've tied those bodies together and we know what's happening in that case. And I think that's what the defense is saying and why they're saying, well, wait a minute, you guys were looking for someone else. You're not looking for Barry Morphew and some sort of domestic violence situation, jealous rage, whatever. We're looking at a serial killer here. That's what they want everyone to believe. That. And I think when we sit here tonight, we're still thinking, like, who did it? Like, who did it? Like, from my perspective, yes, there's evidence. It's a circumstantial case. Most circumstantial evidence can be great. Sometimes it's better than direct evidence. Direct evidence is like eyewitness testimony, which we know is so unreliable, right? You have three people that can witness a crime and they will give you three different accounts about what happened. But circumstantial evidence, good circumstantial evidence like DNA and things like that can help prove a case very well. And that's what they're working with here. But where I'm sitting, until I see and hear the evidence inside a courtroom and cross-examine, I'm still wondering who did it here. I'm still wondering who did it, and that's what I want to kind of take a look at here. So Matt Johnson, a Court TV crime and justice correspondent, takes a look at everything that has happened relative to the disappearance and murder of Suzanne Morphew.
Where's the bike? Oh, it's right there. Where was it? It was like just right down here in this little embankment.
8:46 p.m. Sunday, May 10th, 2020. 53-year-old Barry Morphew arrives at the scene where his wife, Suzanne Morphew's bike and helmet were found about a mile from their house by police. It was Mother's Day, but her daughters were away on a camping trip, and Barry told police that he had spent the day working on a job north of Denver in Broomfield, Colorado.
Just for confirmation, you left this morning at 5. Okay. And she told you she was going to go bike riding? Bikes every day.
At around 5 p.m., a neighbor called 911. after checking Suzanne's house and telling Barry she couldn't contact her friend.
So the last time you probably actually saw her was this morning. That was it, right?
Yeah, I've been here, so I got a big job up there. I've been here all day.
Barry.
Okay. This is what bugged me about this. He's telling you where he was. He's making sure you understand where he was. This reminds me so much of Alec Murdaugh. He's telling you where he was, what he did.
What I okay, he's on that big day, but that doesn't mean really anything, because nobody knows when the body was found. You know what I mean?
No one knows when she disappeared. He's the one that said he saw her last at 5 a.m. She was sleeping. He's the one that's telling people when she was last seen.
So that's me on his part.
Yeah, hold on. That's what's bugging me about this. He's making sure that they knew he was this way, not that way. He was doing this, doing that. That's what bugs me about this case. Bugs the hell out of me.
He was specifically the opposite direction.
You're breaking up really bad, Jesse. You're breaking up.
I'm sorry. I have a problem with streaming. Can you hear me now?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Can you hear me?
No, you were fine before, and now it's like a robot.
Hang.
Okay. So let me play it and let me let Jessie get what her
owned
sound.
a landscaping business, and Suzanne was a stay-at-home mother who was being treated for cancer. The couple lived in Maysville, Colorado, about 2.5 hours southwest of Denver.
Is it a crash?
I mean, the bike the way it was laid, it kind of looked like it, but there's not really that much damage to the bike.
Lion?
Yeah, it was a lion.
No, a lion?
I didn't see anything that would...
Suzanne's disappearance quickly became a missing persons case. Her brother helped organize and lead searches for her with no success.
Unfortunately, every time the dogs hit on a scent, it seems to be close to or around one of his properties. What that might indicate is that scent was on his bobcat, and everywhere he used it, we're running into it.
Barry didn't participate in those searches, but he did post a plea for Suzanne's return on YouTube.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back.
On May 5th, 2021, almost a year after she vanished, Suzanne's husband Barry was arrested and charged with her murder.
The investigation is still ongoing. Suzanne, her body has not been found, and we're still looking into that.
According to the arrest affidavit, the Morphew's marriage was falling apart. She was having an affair and believed that he was cheating too. The week before she disappeared, she texted him that she was done with him, and they had to resolve their situation civilly. They also had a history of fights over money, and he was pressuring Suzanne to loan him thousands of dollars. But in the spring of 2022, days before his scheduled trial, prosecutors dropped Barry's charges without prejudice. The judge had thrown out the potential testimony of several key witnesses because of alleged discovery violations. And without Suzanne's body, prosecutors said they could not move forward with the trial.
Barry and his daughters are relieved, but they're sad because they too want to know where Suzanne Morphew is.
In May 2023, a year after the charges were dismissed, Barry Morphew filed a $15 million suit against the investigators into his wife's disappearance and the district attorney in the case. He and his daughter sat down with Good Morning America to discuss the possibility of future charges.
Well, I was innocent the first time they arrested me, so I'm sure it's possible. But I don't have anything to worry about. I've done nothing wrong.
More than 3 years after Suzanne Morphew went missing, investigators found her remains in a shallow grave. Police discovered her while investigating an unrelated missing persons case. The site, a desert field of sagebrush near Moffett, a town 45 miles south of Suzanne and Barry's home in Maysville. not part of the original search locations. Barry Morphew's attorney said that he and his daughters were shocked by the news of her discovery and point to the fact that there is no GPS or cell phone evidence that places Barry near Moffett the weekend Suzanne disappeared.
We've got a lot to talk about, a lot to cover tonight. Great guest joining us, joining me from.
Okay, what do you guys think?
All right, so kind of like what I was saying before, now that I understand that he's the one giving the timeline, he's incredibly sketchy, and now they're adding in new search locations.
Mm-hmm.
He was
So-
asking for money from her.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yes, well, they were fighting over money.
Money.
So Suzanne sent a text message to her really good friend. She said, he's not going to be rational. Did something happen yesterday that brought on this? Or is it just the everyday normal that is building up and wearing you down? So her friend is asking Susan. Susan says, money stuff. She said, it's sketchy. Then the friend says, was he planning on going with Mallory, or was that just a snag at getting someone on his side? She said, I need to ask your opinion on it. He also asked me if I'm talking to anyone about our marriage, like friends. Okay. The friend comes back and says, make sure he doesn't see your phone. You keep it with you. Suzanne said, yes. When will he be home? She said, probably late. This is March 25th. The friend Suzanne goes, he came home with when girls are gone. He won't speak of divorce, begging for another chance. I'm so torn, but I'm my heart and I know who he is. This is Suzanne. So her friend asked her, she said, isn't that what he always says? How long can you keep forgiving him? She says, that was convenient timing though. She said, Suzanne said, that's what I told him. He threw the 70 by 70 at me, always using scripture when it's convenient. This is her texting her friend. Then she has text between her, and he did have scratches on his arms. There's pictures of that. He has scratches on his arms, and you can see there were fingernail scratches. Hold on, guys. Let me just show you this. This is the exhibit. This is People's Exhibit 87. Let me show you. I got to stop sharing that screen, and let me show you this screen. So he is, I think this man is guilty as shit. And I'm serious. I think he's guilty as shit. So here are the scratch marks. You see these?
Oh, yeah.
Those are fingernails.
Yeah,
Look.
yeah, fingernail.
Yeah, definitely female fingernails.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Fingernails. That's the Exhibit 87. So I don't care where he says he was. But you know, it's just like the Idaho Ryan Kohlberger. He turned off his cell phone.
Right.
That doesn't tell me you weren't there. Not at all. The fact that they
says he turned his phone off.
Yep. The fact that they were looking for someone else and found her. Okay. That doesn't say that Barry had nothing to do with this.
Right.
And that's the way I see it. Maybe I'm just being jaded, but I really feel that this man is culpable.
Well, let me ask a question. What they ended up clearing the boyfriend then, I'm assuming.
The boyfriend was never even a suspect.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then as far as them finding her because they were looking for someone else, whoever put her body there might have known, like, I don't know if there was any other news stories or anything, or, might have known that that's where other bodies had been found previously, and that was a convenient spot to put her.
That's I never looked at that. I never, ever looked at that. So I never even looked at that. Ooh, but okay, so let me show you the, oh, wait a minute. I got to show you this other one. So this is some mysterious DNA that they found inside Suzanne Murphy's Morphew's Range Rover. Hold on, let me just show you that. I forgot.
Yeah, but she had been having an affair, right?
Huh?
Hadn't she been having an affair?
Yes.
That could have been the unexplained DNA in her car. Well,
yes.
I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. So so this is People's Exhibit 64. You see there is Clorox wipes and everything in this Range Rover.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So this is Suzanne Morphew's car. And it was unknown DNA, male DNA, that was supposedly it was a partial match to an unnamed man connected to 3 unsolved sexual assault cases in Tempe, Phoenix, and Chicago.
I'm thinking maybe they need to start looking at the boyfriend.
Me too, because I wanted to blame the husband because of the scratches and all, but that DNA in her car that goes back to other incidences. Wow.
That says
at least
a lot.
Look at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least investigate him.
Ooh, see, that's why I said fresh eyes.
Mm-hmm. At least
that's fresh eyes. That makes sense. But yes, it was partial. It wasn't an exact match. It was partial. But she wasn't in her Range Rover. Okay, so she wasn't in her Range Rover when she disappeared. Supposedly, she was bike riding. And he said she went bike riding every morning.
Well, how easy is it to throw a bike in the back of a Range Rover?
That's true.
Yeah, she got 45 miles away somehow.
That's true. That is so true. Oh, you guys are making, and I have the affidavit, the original one for his arrest warrant, the first one that they had. And hold on, let me just show you guys this. I keep doing the same thing. I keep hopping out of the video, but I want to show you this affidavit for the arrest warrant. And it is redacted. Okay. So this is May 4th, 2021. That's the case. Oh, you guys, this is the case number. Okay. So this is what they're saying. Susan took clear articulate steps in January 2010 to separate from and divorce her husband, Barry. She told her family and close friends about her intentions, secretly recording. So they found a pen, which was a secret recorder. She was recording all of their conversations, okay? Because of his physical and emotional abuse, okay? She secretly recorded her notes of abuse in her phone because Barry monitored it. Confronted Barry in arguments that she secretly recorded with the help from a friend, and finally sent him a text 4 days before she disappeared saying that she was done. Let's handle this civilly. That's what gets me. She disappeared when she wanted a divorce. She was seeing someone else. They were house shopping the week before, her and the boyfriend. They were out looking at houses. And this is a guy she went to high school with. So I'm just like, so Barry initially represented to investigators from CBI, Colorado Bureau of Investigation, a Federal Bureau of Investigation, and CCSO, that his marriage with Suzanne was perfect. She had no intentions of leaving him. Barry's statements about his actions on the days before and after Susan's disappearance have been proven to be false and misleading by this investigation. Barry knowingly destroyed evidence that his relationship with Suzanne was deteriorating and that he was involved in her disappearance and homicide. Back in 2021, they called it a homicide. Suzanne's bicycle and helmet were recovered close to Morphew's residence, discarded before Barry left town in the early morning hours of May 10th, 2020. The investigation to date indicates that these items were not indicative of an accident, an animal attack, Suzanne being a runaway, Suzanne committing suicide, or Suzanne being the victim of a stranger abduction. They're saying none of this happened. They've already saying that he did this. And
well, I definitely don't feel like it was a stranger abduction. That's just,
I don't
there's
either.
too much going on. But I think with what I'm seeing, it very easily could have been either one of them. Now, you said that the unknown DNA was kind of like partially matched other cases. He could be a relative of whoever was involved in those other cases, and maybe that person's relative.
Okay, why couldn't it be Barry? And they're just not saying that it's
Oh, it
Barry's.
could be him too. It could be him too. That's what I'm saying, though, because we have Barry. We also have Barry hiding evidence. We have Barry. His story's a little bit sketchy and not quite working out. They were having problems. He was hiding the fact that they were having marital problems. It could be him too. That's what's so bizarre.
I'm telling you everything. Good morning, the ladies of iTalk. When I first started, I said good morning and welcome, not knowing that you weren't in the chat still. Kat sent you. Are we talking about Kat U.S. Navy vet or Kat 3TL? So good morning and welcome. Good morning, Marsha E. Heidi, who was that bee almost got triggered? What bee? Are we talking about that disease bee? I don't know. I don't watch her. Beans, good morning. Good morning, Brandy. I don't watch her. She's irrelevant. I called her yesterday. I called her an internet hoe because she jumps from panel to panel. Might as well be dick to dick and from man to man. So don't care. Kat TL, my girl. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. We do a variety over here. I'll discuss YouTube news. I'll discuss reality TV shows. I discuss the bullshit that's happening on YouTube. I discuss true crime.
We don't mind.
Yeah, we do the same thing. We do the same thing. And as far as that bee goes, she just needs to buzz off and mind her own business.
Yep. So I don't care why she's triggered. She might be triggered because the two of you are on my panel. I don't know. See, I don't watch her. And for somebody that says she doesn't watch people, she knows full well what the fuck is going on in every damn channel.
Thank you.
Just shut the fuck up.
Well, you politely invited us over here. We wanted to invitation. Nothing wrong. We're not doing nothing wrong.
We're not. I'm the one that's talking. Okay. I said she was an internet hoe. She jumped from dick to dick. I said it. Okay. That's what I said. Dick to dick, meaning panel to panel, and they always males. So mind your fucking business. I don't care who's on your panel, what you say, because I don't fucking watch. You are an irrelevant disease insect. That's what you are to me. You're irrelevant. Okay. You always want to stick your nose in people's fucking business. See, I got off track now, bringing up that beat. You always want to stick your nose in other people's fucking big business and then want to run to the cops when they come after your fucking ass. Shut the fuck up. Leave people alone. Excuse me. Sorry.
Sarah, I think we gave her 5 minutes for the day.
Yeah, I don't give it to her. I told my son I was going to be good, and I just effed up on a Sunday morning. See?
That's all right. It's still salvageable.
I'm sorry. I can't. You buzzing around. Buzz, 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 and bees. Oh, and guess what? Fun fact. Jesse and Miss Can't Be Wrong was on Heidi Black's panel. What the fuck? Who cares?
Well,
Who cares?
apparently she has an issue with um not the fact that Angela and I made up, but the fact of how I went about making up with Angela. I'm like,
Are we talking about Angela Jade?
no, Angela from Angels.
Yes. Guys, the ladies of iTalk have I'm taking it, they have a channel. Please drop their channel if you can get grab their links and just drop Jesse's link and everyone's link in the chat. I really would appreciate that. I don't know, I don't watch over there, so I don't know what her issue was
She
with it.
apparently has a problem with something I said to Angela, and Angela and I made up, and what that little bee doesn't understand that I had an internet friendship with Angel and Angela and all them for over 5 years. So,
Oh, we're talking about Angela from Angel Gotti's.
yes.
Yeah, Angela has a wrench in my chat. I love Angela.
Yeah, and you know
I
what?
don't have a problem with Angela either.
Angela
I'm
and
glad
I,
you
we
said
had a
that.
little bit of an ish for a little while, and she came up on my panel the other night, and we talked it out like ladies, and we're good now. But apparently the bee has a little problem with it.
She has a
So
problem with everything because she has no life. Jesse, yesterday I played your new hit single, girl. I played it up. We're talking about the bee. I don't call her a name. It's the bee. She dresses up in bee costume. She wears 50 filters. Plus, she wears Dollar Tree makeup. And she has stuff behind her wall that makes you look like she's in romper room.
well,
Okay.
that's another thing. She told me I need to show my face, bitch.
Jesse, I've seen your face before on
Right,
screen, and
right,
I didn't see you with no filters, no nothing else. I came on screen, my eyes are puffy as shit. I'm not
right,
hiding behind nothing. I am
right,
me. I'm not going to sit there and pretend with filters on that I look like this, because let's not forget, I know what you look like with the blotches and shit. Stop it.
right. And that's the thing. She's so new that she doesn't understand. I have been on shows without an avatar. I've shown my face. I don't wear any makeup and I don't use any filters. So, that's what I mean by she butts herself in on stuff and she doesn't even know what she's talking about.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. I don't get it. What does it matter? You run your channel the way you run your channel. I
Right.
run my channel the way I run my channel. But one thing you won't find is that I'm a confidential informant. I'm not a snitch bitch.
Right.
And I don't run to abusive men to fight my fucking battles that you put yourself in. Okay? All right.
She's one of
So
those.
let's
She runs around, she'll stir up trouble and then go running back to a man going, "Help, help, save me."
girl, stop. Okay. Woosa. 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 So again, this channel is called Heidi Black. Not just Jules or the Bee or the Hive. It's Heidi Black. Okay. I do what the fuck I want on my channel. Ooh. Okay. So good morning, Cat US Navy vet. Good morning, Pam. Okay.
Good morning, Cat.
Good morning, Cat.
I promised my son last week I was going to be good. I did. I promised him, but he's not in here, nor is he listening, because if he was, he would have typed in the chat by now. All right. So
let's get back to the case. I think we gave that little bee enough time.
Yep. Okay. We gave her enough time. So let's go back to reading this shit because it might. So here's what they're saying in this affidavit too. So they're saying that Suzanne has not used her credit card, nor her social security number, nor has she been contacted by law enforcement, not flown in an airplane, not crossed a national border, not established utility or housing, nor otherwise continued in her normal pattern of life for over 35 years. Based on this legal supposition, and based on the lack of proof of life, they said she was deceased. This is what this affidavit says. Then it said within a month or so of Barry moving Suzanne and their daughter from Indiana to Colorado in April 2018, Suzanne sent a Facebook message of howdy stranger to her high school friend, Jeff Liebler. Suzanne and Liebler, who resides in Michigan, began communicating regularly through 2018 and eventually began meeting each other in 2019. Suzanne traveled to meet him in New Orleans, my hometown, Indianapolis, Dallas, Michigan, and Florida, where they eventually had consensual sex. By September of 2019, Barry took clear steps to determine if Suzanne was having an affair by stalking her at their own residence in Toledo, Colorado, as witnessed by Suzanne's closest friend, Sheila Oliver. In 2019, Barry took Suzanne's phone from her when they were in a resort in Mexico while she was talking to Liebler, but he was unable to determine Liebler's identity. On May 8th, 2020, Suzanne saved in the notes section of her phone that Barry accused her of having a boyfriend on May 6, 2020. On May 9th, 2020, Suzanne's last proof of life occurred in the 2 p.m. hour when she was messaging Liebler with respond to Liebler's return messages at 2:44 p.m. And at 2:46 p.m., the same time Barry admitted to running around their property with the gun and placing his phone in airplane mode. So he is saying he saw her that morning at 5 a.m. She was sleeping. Right here is telling you that's not true. Not true. So then they go on to say, the computer activity from Barry's Ford 350, the activity of his cell phone, and the statements he made to law enforcement in multiple interviews confirmed that from 2:47 on May 9th until 5:37 a.m. on May 10th, 2020, he took steps to dispose of evidence of Suzanne's disappearance and death, create a false alibi for himself, and stage a crime scene. In recent months, following the presentation of evidence by FBI agents to Barry, he has changed critical details about his activities in the 2 p.m. hour on May 9th in attempts to match the evidence. So we see how this is going?
Mm-hmm.
So since 2021, Barry has admitted to chasing a chipmunk with a gun around the house while Suzanne was outside sunbathing, shooting a deer with a tranquilizer dart to explain a dart or needle cap in the dryer, disposing of the tranquilizer solution during his trip to Broomfield, following a bull elk down Highway 50 in the 4 a.m. hour on May 10th to explain why his truck would be headed west where the helmet was discarded. And finally stating to the FBI on April 22nd, 2021, that he looks guilty from the evidence and God allowed these things to happen.
Well, if he set it all up and was creating evidence that didn't exist, he's hiding something. He's guilty of something.
Right. He's hiding something. Definitely. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's hiding something. His story's shady. But I still think the other guy still needs to be investigated, just to, if anything, to clear him.
Okay, let me tell you something. So when you take your car to a car wash, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have all of these people detailing your car inside and out, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Do we think Suzanne washed her own car? Nope. I think she had taken the car to either get maintenance or to get a detail in the inside. And you know these people that work at car washes, not all, but they have criminal background records.
Right, and that could explain the unknown DNA as well. But
Mhm.
that's why I'm saying this. They still need to investigate the boyfriend. If anything, it'll clear him, because if his DNA doesn't
But
match
he
that,
lives in Michigan, and he was in Michigan. His phone wasn't on airplane mode.
oh, okay, so he was completely out of the area. Okay,
Yes. Good
okay,
morning,
okay.
Cat T. Hold on, I'm sorry. Good morning, Cat T. Thank you for recommending the ladies of iTalk, my beautiful friend. Okay, yes, ma'am. Miss Can't Be Wrong, what do you have to say?
Now that you tell me that her affair goes back to 2018 or 19 with that guy, and she's flying to Michigan, New Orleans, and all
Yep.
around, who's to say she won't meeting up with some other fellers and messing around?
Good point.
That's a good point. Oh, I love the way you guys think. That is a good point.
Yeah, she was flying all over to mess with this fella. She
Yeah,
could,
because they were meeting up, you know. Okay, that's a good point. That is a good point. But okay, I don't think she's well, in my opinion. I wouldn't think it,
but she some nefarious character. She might have came in contact or done business
yes.
with some, you know.
Good morning, my Savage Speaks. Girl, I need you to go live. I need a laugh. Good morning, my beautiful Savage Speaks. But you guys are thinking, see, that's why I said, let's get on panel and discuss this, because everybody has different opinions. I love this. Love
This
it.
is great. I'm enjoying this thoroughly.
Okay. Hi, yeah, that's it. I love me some Savage. I've known Savage and Marie for over 3 years. Look, Savage and Marie. Okay. So let me see if there's any more good stuff in this affidavit. And if not, then we're gonna move on. Oh my God, there's so much in this. Oh my God. Okay. There's so much in this affidavit, but I'm gonna show you the picture. So you see the picture where the bike was found? Oh, it hasn't moved. Okay. So here's the picture of where the bike was found.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's downhill, but earlier you said what, it appears that it was just thrown down there. It wasn't like
Yeah.
an accident or anything.
Yeah, it looks like somebody just pushed it down and it got caught in the brushes. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And then the helmet was found. See, there's so much. It's 129 pages. Okay, I can post this so you guys can. It's 129 pages. They did their homework. They did their homework on this. You mean
Now
to tell me?
let me ask another question. So the charges were dropped without prejudice.
Yes.
Now Vinnie Paulton said for like there were legal issues. Like, did they not have enough evidence, or was some of the evidence they have to get rid of, or like, exclude because of some reason? Like, what exactly made them drop the charges?
Well, first of all, they had nobody. Okay, they had nobody,
Right.
which they said in the affidavit there was no proof of life, so they considered her deceased. Okay, then
Right.
you have the fact that he was tracking north, but she was found south. But that's the window when he had put his phone on airplane mode.
Right.
They're thinking that she disappeared that morning. I'm thinking she disappeared that evening, that afternoon.
Right, and that gave him time to be seen up north.
Yep.
And then just real quick dispose the body elsewhere and run home.
Yep, and that's what I'm thinking. Because he was running around the house. His vehicle, that F-350, recorded everything, and then there was movement from his own home, in-home security. He was all over that house. And then they found that tranquilizer cap. So he had to make the excuse of why it was in the dryer. You know what I
Right.
mean? Good
Yeah, yeah.
morning, my beautiful Boston by KK. Good morning, my beautiful KK. Please drop my okay. Well, KK has a wrench, so she can drop her own stuff. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
But so yeah, I mean that's not a normal thing. I don't think most normal people have tranquilizer darts in their dryer. You know what I mean? Like,
That was him.
right,
She tried
right.
to leave Barry several times. And then you have Sheila's interview with them as well. This is so much. We're going to have to do a part 2 on this because she said that Barry had a Jekyll and Hyde personality.
Okay.
Well, he was running around shooting at critters while she was sunbathing in the yard.
He wasn't running around shooting at critters. He shot her with a tranquilizer gun.
Something, yeah, it just crazy to me.
Yep, and that's true. But the ladies of ITOP made a good point. They're saying that also remember some evidence gets saved because there's nobody and they don't want to misuse it. They can put different charges later if they find a body. So it's not double jeopardy. Yes, and they just found her body. But they're saying because they were looking for someone else and discovered her body, now they're trying to say, well, his defense team is trying to say that maybe the person that, these other people put her there. No, but Jessie brought up a good point. She said, has there ever been any other bodies found in that area? Which I have to look that up, Jessie, because I don't know. And you made a good point. So I would definitely be looking at that to see if there were any other bodies, if they found bodies there before. Yep, he was verbal. Yep, and that's what she said.
A man that can beat a woman, I mean, things happen, escalate quick in a fight. It don't take long for a man to really do bodily harm to a woman.
Right, right. I mean, it's possible he might have gone. He might not have even intentionally killed her.
They might have been fighting and things went out of control.
Yep.
Right.
But she had told him she wanted a divorce and he was begging her. But he was supposed to be at this job site. You get it? Like no, it's Mother's Day, right? Okay, got you. But you last saw her at 5 a.m. Now you're given a timeline and you want to make sure that everybody knows that you were doing this job site up in whatever it was, which was north of where they started finding evidence at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just all right, Savage, sweetie. But I'm just like I'm blown away when I was reading that affidavit. I'm telling you, I probably got down to page 60, but I did read Sheila's interview. And when I said, oh no, I can't read no more of this. I'm serious, 129 pages.
Right. Well, and this is another thing that I want to get back to though too. He was seen up north on a specific day. The body wasn't found for 3 years. That doesn't mean he dumped the body on that day.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But they're thinking from what he told them, he left the home that morning. The daughters were supposed to be back that night because they were going to celebrate Mother's Day.
Right.
I don't think it was 5 a.m. I think when he was running around doing all that movement in that home is when all of this was taking place. Good morning, Arthur Stewell.
But that's what I mean. That what happens is he was running around in the home that day. He made his alibi to be up north. He could have stashed the body elsewhere and went back a week or two later even and dumped her.
Yep. I don't think he's going to hold her unless there was a freezer or something. But they haven't released the autopsy report yet. Of course, they're not going to release it yet.
Even a day or two. You know what I mean? Like, he could have stashed her, and then a day or two later, when he knows his alibi is established for that specific day, he could go back and dump her elsewhere.
Yep. And KK is saying that she thinks the body was moved a couple of times.
Yeah,
that's possible too.
That could be. Hey, Arthur.
That could be.
That very
Oh
well
my
could be.
goodness. Oh, I love the way. See, we need to be detectives. I'm just telling you.
There were so many years in there too, from the time she got missing until they found her.
Right.
And then, the statement that he had put out that the family, that they wanted their wife to come back, the wife and mother. No, Barry, you've had a girlfriend for the last 2.5 years. So how do you want your wife to come home? You knew she wasn't coming home. You knew she wanted a divorce.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like somebody that's waiting for their wife to come home, especially if he's the one that didn't want the divorce.
He didn't want the divorce, but she had tried to leave him several times. I think that's why he moved his family from Idaho to Colorado, or from Iowa to Colorado. I think that's why he moved them, to get them away from her family.
Yeah, that's what abuse do.
And you were saying earlier about like checking the phone and stuff like that. That's typically a pattern of like the jealous husband thing, and jealous wives. I mean, there's women out there like that too. I don't want to discriminate, but that's definitely, they're always checking their partner's phone. They're always like, where were you? Who are you with?
I forgot about his nephew, but first of all, the ladies of iTalk said people don't understand the length people go to in trying to hide stuff, and there's always evidence left behind. That tranquilizer cap, that it was probably in his pants pocket. They will find all sorts of debris on her body that will show where she's been in 3 years. That's true, and they haven't put that out. KK made a statement that I also think he had help. His nephew Trevor is yes, he is. He is suspect. And then Danny said, I was thinking that over 3 years, he had probably moved it several times.
Yep. Very possible.
Oh, wait a minute. Because she was buried in a shallow grave. And Danny said he moved it the last time to the place where they were looking for the other body, to throw them further off of him. Ooh.
Yeah, but they can get all those specialists out there too that, soil on her body. They can say her, that's how they can tell if she's been moved. Different places, the soil test.
Yeah, but they're not going to release any of that.
No.
Not until the trial. They won't release that. See, and yes, and the autopsy will take a long time. They will have multiple specialists. And they identified her by her port, where she gets the chemo treatment at, by the serial number.
Right.
Number.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh my God, this case is, because when I first heard about the Alec Murdaugh case, I'm serious, my first words were, he did it.
Yes.
He did it.
Yes.
He did it.
Yeah, I thought that right off the bat.
This is all sad. So let's finish watching with Vinny and his look. So we've put our opinions out there. Let's see what the experts think. We're experts too, but let's just see what they have to say.
I like Politan too.
I love Vinny Politan.
I adore him. He's adorable.
Yep. Love him. Okay, let's see what Vinny has to say, because they're the experts. We're not. Let's just see what they have to say. So let me put Vinny back on big screen. Hey, Vinny, how you doing? Okay, let's see what he has to say.
From Denver, Colorado, reporter for the Denver Gazette. Knows everything about this case, Carol McKinley. In Jacksonville, Alabama, forensic death investigator, professor of forensics at Jacksonville State University, and host of the very popular Body Bags podcast, Joseph Scott Morgan. And in Pensacola, Florida, private investigator Lauren Vellucci. All right, welcome everyone. Can we start here? And what we heard in that last little piece from Matt was where the defense was saying there's no GPS, there's no cell phone evidence that puts Barry Morphew in the area where the remains were found. The only way he could have done it, Carol, am I right, based upon what the evidence is he would have had to have been there the day before, right? On the 9th, not on the 10th, because the 10th he's accounted for, right? That's when he heads out to Broomfield, which is in the other direction.
That's right. There was a time that he put his phone in airplane mode, and that was between 10 o'clock at night and 4 o'clock in the morning from the 9th until the 10th.
Wait, time out. Airplane mode. Airplane. What?
Yeah. But he put his phone in airplane mode for about 6 hours the night before he went to Broomfield. And so there's been a lot of talk about that because during the preliminary hearing, the FBI agent in charge, whose name is Johnny Rusing, said 6 hours is a long time. You can do a lot in 6 hours. However, his truck was still in the driveway that night. So really, between the GPS and the cell phone records, you have to look at both. And the fact that the truck never left the driveway, the truck didn't leave. The cell phone might have. The next day, the truck wasn't down there and the cell phone wasn't down there. So there was a 6 hour period where no one knows where the cell phone was. However, the truck, even though the doors were opening at 3 a.m., opening and closing, stayed in the driveway.
Yep.
That doesn't mean Barry stayed in the driveway.
That's right.
But his truck was there.
His truck was there.
So, the more information you hear, the more confused you get.
Yes, but
in this case,
airplane mode.
Yes.
Well, your wife is missing.
To me, Joseph Scott Morgan, and I'm just going by myself. The only time I put it on airplane mode
is when I'm on an airplane.
Is when I'm on an airplane.
I knew that.
I don't know. I don't know why you would put it on airplane mode when you're on an airplane. The 6 hours. That to me, that is really strange. It's like Jodi Arias years ago when she was driving from Northern California to Arizona to murder Travis Alexander. And it came out in trial, and the jury loved that evidence. The fact that the phone is on and then it's off and then it's turned back on, and in that window, it was possible. What does your gut tell you about that little fact? What would you do to try to figure out if that's just an innocent thing that he did versus purposeful conduct?
Okay, hold on. Before he says anything, his phone was on airplane mode for 6 hours. His daughters were on a camping trip. Wouldn't you want your phone on in case your daughters need you, in case something goes wrong?
Absolutely, Heidi.
Yes.
My feeling is, in this day and age, anybody with any type of family, the way we rely on our phones, the only time your phone's going to be in airplane mode is if you're on an airplane. We all leave our phones on. We all have families. We all have things we worry about. You don't.
That's what bothered me. And then so where is your wife if your phone is on airplane mode for 6 hours? You're not thinking that your wife may try to contact you, your kids may try to contact you. Man, you are guilty as shit. And she does look like Caitlyn Jenner. Now that I look at her, she does look like Caitlyn Jenner. Okay, let's see what this, what the body bag expert has to say.
But I knew you were going to ask me this question, and I went through the various sequences you have to go through in order to get to airplane mode.
All I just hit the button.
And it's kind of a pull down. I'm an Android guy, so forgive me. It's kind of a pull down, and then you click on it, but it's something that you have to actively do.
Yes.
It's not necessarily something that you're just it's going to passively happen.
That's right.
And in court, this can be powerful information in the hands of a digital investigator, where if you look back in time at his activity on the phone, and again, this is circumstantial, but you look through it and you say, well, how many times in the past
have he put his phone on airplane?
This individual placed that phone on airplane mode over this period of time? And then you begin to think about this period of time in which Suzanne Morphew has gone missing. And, you try to correlate that with the understanding that maybe perhaps he has never placed it on airplane mode, but at that particular time, the phone happens to go on there. And just like our colleague said just a second ago, just because the truck was in the driveway
doesn't necessarily mean
that anyone else was there.
Thank you.
Or that the phone was necessarily there, because you can't track it on airplane mode. So it's an interesting bit of information, and it's going to require a bit more pressure, I think, and shoe leather on the part of the police.
Absolutely. Okay. Let me ask you, Carol, about this. And to me, this is significant. What's the last proof of life that we have of Suzanne Morphew? Is it the selfie bikini shot that she took and then sent to her boyfriend?
The last time that we know she was alive is the picture she took at 2:07 and sent to her boyfriend on Saturday, May 9th. She was reported missing on Sunday, Mother's Day, the next day at 5 p.m.
She was not home.
So you've got 2:07 until 5 o'clock the next day that we don't know what happened to her. So she really didn't look at her phone. There was a ping at 4 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning. That was the last ping. There were a couple of like little ghost pings that no one can explain through the night. But after 2:07, she did not look at her cell phone, which is weird because her best friend sent her some video images at about 6 that night, and she never opened them. It turns out her best friend's daughter got married that day, and it's something that Suzanne was really looking forward to, the wedding of her best friend's daughter. She never looked at the phone to check out the messages on Snapchat sent by her best friend, which were sent at 6 o'clock, 4 hours after we last know she was alive, because we saw that picture of her alive, right, that she sent to her boyfriend.
So what do you think? We can't be wrong, Jesse. What are we thinking now?
Yeah.
Now that period of time, is that the same time his phone was on airplane mode?
Yep.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah. He's not looking too innocent right now.
No, he's not.
Now she's looking forward to her best friend's daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
Right.
This is Sheila they're talking about.
You don't miss your best friend's daughter's wedding unless something's severely wrong.
Yep, she was deceased. That's what I'm saying. He said he left the home at 5:10 Mother's Day morning because he had a job to do. Okay? She was already deceased. That is my opinion. She was already deceased.
Most likely.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, Lauren, I think that's a significant part here too, trying to put together a timeline, right? I mean, you're first of all, Mother's Day is the next day. You're not checking your phone. You're going to go on a bike ride. You're not checking your phone or the weather or anything else. You're not doing anything. I don't understand why you would just stop using your cell phone at 2 o'clock on Saturday and then
he took it
and then never use it again, even though you allegedly went to bed, were sleeping, woke up, and went for this bike ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because it's probably, when she was murdered in that time frame, and that's the first thing that we have to figure out is a timeline.
Thank you.
On these cases, it's the biggest thing. It's where we start. And there's just so many odd facts in this case. Who has tranquilizer darts, hanging around in their house? It's just a very puzzling case. And there's a lot of pieces to it. And it's
beautiful home, though. Beautiful.
I think we're having some trouble with Lauren's signal right now, so we'll check on that in a second. Joseph Scott Morgan, I look at this case, and it's not going to be easy. What are your thoughts with the location of where the remains are found, and it's years later? I don't think you'll be able to get much information from these remains. To me, it almost complicates the case here.
Yeah, it does. But there's a lot that we can learn from this location. First off, who in Suzanne's circle, and remember, they didn't have a huge circle there in Colorado. Who would have knowledge of this specific location that would also have enough anger to take her out there? And remember, they've used the term shallow grave.
Yeah.
A shallow grave implies that's an action phrase, because a grave, in order to be shallow, can only be dug to a certain depth. That implies to me a certain pace, rapid, and the soil out here is very, very compact. Did the individual that created the shallow grave not show up with the appropriate tools? In order to dig into this type of dirt out there, you would need to show up with certainly a pickaxe, perhaps, if you're going to go deep, and obviously a shovel. How defined were these margins that were out here? And one of the things that's troubling to me, I think, is that not only did they use the term shallow grave, but correct me if I'm wrong, feel free to. One of the initial reports that came out, I heard the term 75-yard radius relative to disbursement of remains. So that means that this is disturbed ground, that something has come into this environment and has dispersed the remains. But what's important here, I think, is the fact that there was a very quick ID then. You're going to have, I think, at least a partial skull because they were able to do a dental identification on Suzanne's remains very quickly. And that's going to play into this. Of course, I would imagine that when this case first occurred, one of the first things that they went looking for when they realized that this was not going to turn out well is they had already subpoenaed those dental remains. They had them sitting. They were there in standby. Somebody was holding on to these things because you don't get a turnaround quite that quickly.
Oh my God, that's a great point. That's a great point. But they said she was identified by her port serial number. But he's saying now that the dental was on hand. So do we think that they're just playing a ruse and stating that they were looking for someone else, but they were really looking for her?
Yes, to have them dental records on hand, because usually it takes a couple of weeks.
Well, I would think though too.
She wanted a divorce. Yeah, I'm sorry.
She'd been missing for so long that I don't necessarily think it's a coincidence that they had the dental on hand, unless are they saying they had the dental on hand on site that day when they found her?
No, they didn't say they had it on site, but he's just saying that it takes a while to do that, and they had those things in hand.
Well,
maybe because they had other missing people, but they had the dental stuff on hand.
Well, she had been missing for 3 years, so I'm sure at some point somebody that was looking, one of the detectives or whatever, would have ordered that so they had it just in case. So that doesn't necessarily intrigue me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, 6 months into the investigation, they might have ordered her dental records just so they did have them in case they did find her.
But he just said that they identified her rather quickly by that. So they had it. So, okay. I'm trying to put this together. So what do you think, Miss Can't Be Wrong?
Just to have the guy out there, because it's a forensic dentist that examines the dental records and stuff.
Yes.
Does the comparisons. And usually he likes to take his time, and for him to do it that quick.
Okay. So let's see what
it was her all along, probably.
I'm thinking so too, but they're saying shallow grave, and even he said it was done hastily because, and someone said in the chat, well, KK said in the chat, and Danny said that they think she's been moved, because if you're out there digging, what are you doing it at night? Because if you're out there in the field and cars are passing by, they're going to see you out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're not going to do that in the daylight.
Okay, so shallow grave. Okay, so you're digging, and it was, it was just something because you didn't go out there prepared. And he was talking about the type of soil and everything it was. Okay, let's go back and listen. Whew.
Right now, I think that we're still waiting for more information to come in. But if you have animals that have come to this grave to disperse the remains are not going to be in a pristine shape.
Yep.
So soft tissue damage is not going to be that appreciable over a 3-year period, particularly if you have scavengers that are out there. the one hope I would have, I think, if you're trying to determine a cause of death, is going to be some type of impact trauma, perhaps to the skull, where either a skull fracture or perhaps some type of gunplay that has been involved. Other than that, I think that you're really going to be grasping at straws. I think the biggest question I've had asked of me, Ben, and it always happens with cases like this, is will they find the hyoid? When you have fragile remains like this, the hyoid bone high up in the neck is one of the first things that disappear.
Yep.
I always teach my students, the smaller the bone in the body, the less likelihood there is of recovery of it. We're talking about small bones of the hands and the feet, certainly vertebral bodies in many cases, but particularly like the hyoid bone. It's the one unarticulated bone in the body. It disappears pretty quickly.
She's the professor.
All right, Joseph Scott Morgan, Carol McKinley, Lauren Vellucci staying with us for the whole hour. When we come back,
hold on,
we're going to take a look at some of the DNA that was left behind. We'll touch the bike. Put your hands on the bike.
Okay, here we go.
It was weird because it feels like the top of the bike was like up this way.
So maybe flipped.
Maybe, I don't know, man. But the problem is, go ahead. What's the thing about 4 o'clock in the morning? Was that for on the phone? 5 o'clock. Oh, yeah, so we pinged the phone.
I believe she was moved there myself, the ladies of my top.
It's off of the Ponce Tower. So there's not any specific limit. Hey, did you not touch the bike with your hands, please? Hey, guys. That's what I do.
A couple interesting things in that body cam video that we just saw there. One, talking about the 4 o'clock ping on the phone of Suzanne Morphew. And then you've got Barry Morphew's at the scene and they're trying to tell him, hey, don't touch the bike. Put your hands on the bike. It's not a good idea. Okay. Let me put this up on the screen because this is extremely significant. I know this is significant. I'm a former prosecutor. I know how much damage this can do to a prosecutor's case if you are charging Barry Morphew in this case. All right, take a look. In the summer of 2020, CBI forensic analysis determined foreign unknown male DNA.
We just discussed that.
Was found on various items of the crime scene. The interior cushion of the bike helmet, Mrs. Morphew's bike, the glove box and back seat of Mrs. Morphew's Range Rover. Mr. Morphew, along with other investigative personnel working the scene, were excluded as the source of the sample.
So does that mean that his nephew or someone else was there? Because now they're bringing her Range Rover in, just like we discussed. They're bringing her Range Rover in. And Ms. Can't Be Wrong did say that, you know, it's not hard to put a bike in the back of a Range Rover. So all of this was staged.
Yeah, I honestly, it's not hard to put a bike in the back of a Range Rover. I mean, I've fit my bike in a compact car, you know. So, as far as Mr. Morphew touching the bike, I think that was an attempt to mess with evidence.
Yep, but they're saying that his DNA didn't match this, which I find weird that his DNA is not in his wife's car, but you have unknown DNA in the back seat, the glove box, the bike. Come on. Something is not right here.
He could have had help.
But how did her car go? Okay, here's the thing. He's home that day. You can doors opening and closing, doors opening and closing. You would not notice your wife's Range Rover was not missing. You never said her truck wasn't there.
Well, that's where he's messing up.
That's my point.
That's where he's messing up.
That's my point. So KK brought up his nephew, Trevor, was suspect. Somebody had to help him. And then the ladies of ITOP just said, Maury just said that the grave was too close to the road. So that's a two-man job. It was just too close to the road. So let's go back and finish listening.
Because you're
communication logs with the Forensic Lab Division of CBI indicated that Agent Cahill had come to believe the DNA sample found in Mrs. Morphew's car belonged to suspects who may have perpetrated the crime.
Okay.
On May 19th, 2021, Agent Cahill, among other law enforcement personnel, received a CODIS match letter indicating the unknown male DNA partially matched DNA found in 3 out-of-state unsolved sexual assault investigations in Tempe, in Phoenix, and Chicago.
Okay.
That's huge, right?
Yes.
That's huge. That is a problem. That, to me, you put that in a courtroom with a jury. Like, this is what reasonable doubt looks like.
But see,
all right, let's
that's
bring back
what
in our
brings,
guests, Carol McKinley, Joseph
Hold on,
Scott
let me
Morgan.
stop. Hold on. Okay, yes, ma'am.
that's what brings me back to wondering about the boyfriend, because she met the boyfriend all over the country.
Yep, she
So
has.
that's where, you know, aside from that, everything else points to the husband, but that's that one thing you have to look into.
I'm trying to think, how hard would it be? Well, you can plant evidence, but they're saying DNA, the glove box, the bike, the back seat.
Or check out the nephew. If they're thinking maybe the nephew was involved, where was he where all these other assaults happened?
Ooh, good point. Oh, good point. Okay. Yes, we're going to solve this. Okay. Good point. Good point. Let's go.
Lauren Vellucci. And Lauren's on phone with us right now. So Carol, can you just kind of clarify for us a little bit this DNA? Or is it clear that what's found on the helmet and the bike, is that the same DNA profile as what's found inside her car? Or is the car different than the DNA profile on the helmet and on the bike?
That's a very important question, and it is different. The glove box DNA was the most important. And they sent it in, and they found a suspect. I guess you could call the person a suspect in Arizona, north of Phoenix, in a place called Prescott. You might have heard of it. My parents used to live there, so I really paid attention. But that person was eliminated.
Okay.
From being in Colorado at the time, either through an alibi or I don't know what. Anyway, I was told that person could not have committed the crime because he was not in Colorado on May 9th or May 10th. So the DNA really was a dead end. And I think they were going to be able to explain that in court.
And Joseph Scott Morgan, you've got DNA unknown on the helmet. You've got DNA on the bike. They tracked down this, I guess, previously unknown DNA that was on the glove box, and it's a sexual. I mean, how did it get in the glove box anyway? I mean, that part
was it in the glove box or on the glove box?
Let me ask Carol one more time. Any answers to that question? If this person's in Arizona, how that person's DNA ends up on her glove box? No explanation.
There were people who said maybe it was someone who worked on the car.
See, I said that.
Maybe. I mean, there were people who put suppositions out there, but if that person had an alibi and there's a second witness that says, yes, this person was with me, that person could not have committed this crime.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's all kind of reasons why, but they're going to try to use this in defense of Barry. Barry is guilty as shit. I'm sorry. Let me go back and finish.
Interesting. All right, Joseph Scott Morgan, what are your thoughts about the DNA in this case?
The fact that you've got a CODIS hit, and so folks understand, CODIS has 2 different categories. You have what has traditionally been, categorized as known suspects, those individuals that have either been positively identified from, say, for instance, a sexual assault at a scene, or that you have taken sample from with like a buccal mucosal swab for those individuals that are within the system that are required to give up a sample. Then you have this other group, which has traditionally been known as the forensic category, and those that are unidentified. The fact then that if what I'm hearing is correct, that you've got an individual with disassociated DNA that is associated with a sex crime is significant. I mean, you can't look past that. You have to understand that that this is the odds of this happening and not be associated with her disappearance, I think, are tough to kind of explain away. I would imagine the defense, if this were to go to trial, would make quite a bit of hay with that. As an investigator, I think, we go back to this idea of living kind of in isolation out in this area.
Yeah.
Who knows her, who knows him, and who is in their circle.
Yep.
Barry Morphew worked with people. Hopefully they've run through that group of people to get DNA from them, because they might know, what his house looks like, how it's laid out, that he had a wife, that maybe, she liked to go out of the house every now and then. They may have known that he was going to be outside of the house. So all of that stuff has to be explored, and questions have to be asked and answered.
Okay, so when he's saying this, I'm thinking that they're trying to say that he had help, and that somebody he worked with or worked for him helped him. That's what I'm taking from that.
That's possible. I like your theory though too. The DNA could link back to somebody that just happened to work on the car. I also want to know, was the husband's DNA found in the car or not? Because believe it or not, I would find it more suspicious if his DNA is not in the car.
I didn't hear them say his DNA was found in the car. That's what I'm saying. It's weird. It is very, very weird. But they did say it was the DNA on the helmet and the bike are not the same. Okay. They're not the same. Miss Can't Be Wrong, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it just the fact that they're not finding any more DNA or whatever, just that one they couldn't get a whole person for it, the parcel or whatever. If that's all there is, I'm wondering. I still think the husband has went out of his way to create all the evidence making him not look guilty. So I'm really wondering about him now.
Ooh, right, I love the way you ladies think. I do.
I think what they should do is, somebody in chat said it was confirmed that she previously had worked on to her car.
And I didn't even know that. I just said it could have been. Yep.
Maybe go DNA them just to say, okay, this was left there when he changed her oil or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, look at what Pam said. Look what Pam said. She said they didn't find the husband's DNA in the car. Very suspicious.
Yep. See, that worries me more because that means he might have wiped it down at some point. Because let me tell you something. Any woman that's been married or been in a relationship with a guy, the guy's always, he's always driving your car.
Driving or bringing, yep. They're taking it to the car wash, or they're in the car. But the ladies of iTalk Worry said that, and they said unknown DNA. They did say unknown. So that means that the husband's DNA would be known. So yes, they might not just be saying that, but now they're saying, like I told you, the helmet was found a little further away. So if the bike is there, how was the helmet a mile or two? You threw it out the window. Mm-hmm. So it's different DNA. Mm-hmm. Yep, and they're putting gas in it. So, okay, we only have 13 minutes of this left. Let's finish this out, and then we're going to sit, so we're going to have, I'm really enjoying this. And thank you, ladies, so much for coming up. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us over. It's been real. I've enjoyed it too.
Okay, let's finish this one out, and let's get our
Lauren Vellucci, are you bothered by the unknown DNA on the helmet and on the bicycle?
That part, yes. That makes me wonder if he had some help.
Said that. But then again, let's just think about this too. The helmet's found. Somebody could have saw the helmet and touched it, because it's thrown out the window. Somebody could have touched it. That's unknown DNA. That doesn't tell me shit.
Right. Same thing. Like they found it on the side of the road, picked it up, looked at it, and threw it back down. You know?
Okay, let's do this.
With getting her off of that bicycle, if in fact she was taking a stroll at a very odd time to be doing so. So yeah, I'm a little bothered by that as well.
Carol McKinley, is it true that on the morning that he's going to Broomfield, that he first heads in one direction near where the helmet was found, then kind of turns around and heads to Broomfield?
That is true.
Yeah.
He took a left instead of a right. So when he came out of his driveway and off of the dirt road to get onto this 2-lane highway, he normally would take a right to get to Broomfield. He took a left instead and drove up to maybe, I forgot how far, a couple miles maybe, to a mine and turned around. And then he went to Broomfield. And his explanation was that he thought he saw some elk, and he's a hunter, and he wanted to see where they were traveling.
Wait a minute. He went to a mine? Okay, we need to check that mine out.
So it turns out that the helmet is found on that road where he went to the left.
Yes. Here we go. I'm loving this. Loving it. Okay.
He's leaving breadcrumbs.
Look, I'm loving this. This came out last night, and I saw it because I was reading up on something, and I saw it. I said, no, I don't want to watch it. I want to see what they have to say. So everything we're saying, they've got the same doubts that we do.
Mm-hmm. And he's leaving
There's
breadcrumbs.
also a time where he went to a trash receptacle at a gas station early on. And some of the belief from investigators was that he put the helmet there first and then threw it later, and that he might have gone to the left to just find out if there was a place he could throw it from his car or throw it from the side of the road. None of us know this. This is speculation. But yes, it was a strange U-turn that he made early in the morning, 5 o'clock on a Sunday, on Mother's Day.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Mother's Day.
Joseph Scott Morgan, that doesn't sit well with me either, right? And if you're trying to put this together as a prosecutor telling a story to a jury, the story is going to be the murder happens on the 9th. He has to somehow, some way get rid of the body. And then before he heads to his alibi, he's trying to get rid of the evidence. But, there's no reason if you're going to Broomfield to drive 2 miles in that other direction. There's no reason, and that's where the helmet is found. So that makes it look like maybe she was abducted in one place and taken somewhere else from her bike. But at the end of the day, if he's there, he's put himself in a place where evidence is recovered that is inconsistent with waking up and heading to Broomfield first thing in the morning.
Yeah, it is. And if you've got some electronic breadcrumbs, I think that would be, and, in a hypothetical, that would be a difficult, hurdle to go over for any defense team, I think, and that would have to be explained away. But as we know, when you look at electronic evidence, perhaps, those types of things can be explained in a couple of different ways. And that happens in all forensic evidence, depending upon what kind of team you have.
Yep, what kind of team?
For me, the grave site itself I'm hoping will be bountiful relative to what they're going to be able to find and determine. Another piece to this, I think, that I'm very interested in knowing, and of course we don't have all of the information, we might not for some time, is that we've talked about the body and I talked about some of the elements, but I'm interested if there was any clothing left behind, anything whatsoever. And I'm thinking synthetic fibers as opposed to anything, say a natural blend like a wool or maybe a cotton fiber or something that's going to be resilient out there in that harsh environment. And also, we don't know if the body had been cocooned, because even though you bury a body, it doesn't mean, and it's wrapped, it doesn't mean that critters can't get to it.
Electronic breadcrumbs. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. That is a great way to describe it. All right, guests are staying with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the other missing women that are being, or missing people pointed out by the defense. Because we know what they'd be alluding to is, hey, there's someone out there. And maybe Suzanne was a victim of this person, this killer who's on the loose in Colorado. We'll be right back.
All right.
I mean, the bike looked, the way it was laying, it kind of looked like it, but there's not really that much damage to the bike. That's the thing. Yeah, it was a lion. No lion? I didn't see anything that was...
All right, so let's get this.
Florida father accused of locking his...
And they had found her bicycle that knows Suzanne.
So that's her brother.
I don't think she went for a bike ride. I mean,
I don't think so either.
Without the cell phone, without checking the cell phone for all those hours, to me, that doesn't necessarily add up to me at all. Now, let's take a look at a statement from Barry Morphew's attorney. They've been very aggressive in this case in getting their story out there, or alternative stories as to what could have happened to Suzanne. Here's what they say. It was the Saguache County officials that fortunately stumbled onto Suzanne's remains last week while looking for another missing woman, Edna Quintana. What needs to be done, instead of pointing fingers at Barry Morphew, is asking the officials about the number of missing people and number of human remains that have been recovered in or from Saguache County.
See, and you said that, Miss Jesse. You said, no, was that Miss Can't Be Wrong? You said how many other remains have been found there? So he could have known and put her there.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, if there were, like, maybe there were a couple of bodies found there in the past, whoever moved her body there might have remembered that and said, hey, I'll just put her there.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
In the recent past. Whatever happened to Crystal Reisinger, Edna Quintana, Suzanne, the man whose remains were found by Saguache County Sheriff's Office in the foothills on July 26, 2023, or the remains of the person found in another area of Saguache County last weekend? What were the circumstances of their disappearances? What is the cause and manner of death of the remains in that area? What happened to them? Are they looking for other remains in this area? So let me give you a little more information. Edna Quintana is a 55-year-old white female, last seen on May 3rd, 2023, in the area of Saguache County. There she is. That's who they were actually looking for when they found Suzanne. And now we've got a map. This is based on some reporting from KRDO. You've got Saguache County, Colorado. Police were searching the county for Edna Quintana, which led to the discovery of two different bodies. In Moffett, Colorado, Suzanne Morphew's remains were found along the side of Highway 17 south of Moffett. And then James Montoya, during another search for Edna Quintana in July, investigators found James Montoya's body in the foothills west of Saguache Peak off of County Road 46AA. And who is James Montoya? 26-year-old from Lakewood, Colorado, last seen 2:30 a.m. April 2nd at a bar in Lakewood. And his body was found in July. Crystal Reisinger disappeared in 2016. That's another case, a little bit older than all of these. Let's bring back in our guest, Carol McKinley, Justice Scott Morgan, Lauren Bellucci, joining us by phone right now. So, Carol, have those questions been asked? Have they been answered? What's the buzz out there in Colorado when it comes to these bodies, these recoveries, and missing people?
Well, here's the bizarre thing. Edna Quintana went missing last May 3rd, as you said. And the Colorado Bureau of Investigation was looking for her remains when they found James Montoya's remains and Suzanne Morphew's remains. They've never found Edna's remains.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going here. James Montoya, I went to a press conference with his parents this week, which was held in Denver because he's a Denver man. He's from Lakewood, a suburb of Denver. He was killed probably up here during a fight. They're looking for a suspect. They've got the name. They've got an APB out for him. This guy who they think killed James Montana, put him in a car, drove him down to Saguache County, which is 3,000 square feet, by the way. And now they believe he's in Alamosa, Colorado. So police believe they have their suspect for James Montana. He's eliminated. Edna Quintana,
his name is
remains
Montoya.
are still missing. Crystal Reisinger, her remains are still missing. She was a woman who from Denver went down to Crestone, Colorado, because she wanted to find herself. She was a spiritual person. Crestone has, I forgot how many religions down there, but it's the most per capita of anywhere in the country. It's a very, like a very spiritual, eclectic place. So sure, Crystal Reisinger, 2016, 5 years before Suzanne's body's found. No, would that be 7 years? Yeah. So she goes missing in 2016. Suzanne goes missing in 2020. So that's 4 years. Excuse my math. And then Suzanne's remains are found 3 years later. That's a long time. So I talked to an investigative source today, and I said, "What about Crystal Reisinger? We know James Montana is not connected to Suzanne Morphew. We're pretty sure Edna Quintana is not connected to Suzanne Morphew. She's not the profile. She's older. She was last seen walking in Saguache. It might have been a crime-related, druggie-related death. Reisinger is still a question. The investigator told me today, we do not know of any connection. We're not ruling it out, but we don't know."
Thank you.
So that's what I know about those three. As far as the other missing person who the remains were found like last weekend or the weekend before, which Barry Morphew's attorney said they found, I have not heard anything about that. I don't know whose remains of those are, where they were found, or if they were even found. But yes, I mean, that kind of thing where you've got alternate suspects, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean,
we can look at it here and say, they're not related. You get inside a courtroom, everything becomes a little bit smaller. Lauren Vellucci, anything strike you that makes you think that there's a killer out there in Colorado going after all these folks?
Nope.
No, and that's the thing, Benny. Anytime you have such a vast, desolate area like that, the sad truth is there's going to be other bodies there. If you remember, like a year ago when Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie's case was big and they were at the Myakkahatchee State Park, they found at least 6 additional bodies.
Yes, they did.
That were missing.
Nothing to do with
in
Brian.
that location. So, that's just the sad truth. We have so many missing people in this country and they're being put someplace. And unfortunately, it is places like this. So I don't personally think that any of these cases are connected. Crystal's case, she had horrible things done to her 2 weeks prior to her going missing. And then she just magically disappears in a town of less than 150 people. And she pointed the fingers and was ready to tell who had actually hurt her. So no, I don't think they're related in any way.
Thank you. I don't think so either. Okay, guys, so that's what happened there. So my final thought is they're trying to muddy the waters, in my opinion, because we know they did a thorough investigation when she first went missing. We have a 129-page affidavit. And I'm going to be like the ladies of ITOC. I want to know what the cause of death was. Now, maybe it's been too long to determine if there was any tranquilizer chemicals in her body. That could be the case. But everything to me points to her husband. It points to her husband. That is my opinion.
Well, if there's any kind of poison in there, maybe if there's nothing left but skeletal remains, sometimes that poison metabolizes into bone marrow, and maybe they can find it in the bones.
Ooh, that's true.
A lot of times, though, with women like that, if there's no soft tissue and they can't find any other reason, they'll take a look at the throat really good, hyoid area and stuff. And
but they said that's the bone that disintegrates quicker because it's so small.
Yeah, but they'll call it that. They'll say, well, we couldn't find anything on the other bones that maybe she was choked or whatever,
Yep. I think he used that tranquilizer gun on her. I think that they were because he was running around the house. Remember, he was doing it. Then his excuse was he was shooting whatever it was. I think they got into an altercation.
Yeah.
And we know there's cameras all over this house. Some reason the cameras weren't really working that day.
Yeah, conveniently. Yeah, they were.
Okay. You put your
Yeah,
phone on
that's
airplane mode. Your wife is not home. Your daughters are camping 6 hours. That's very
Airplane mode's
suspicious
off.
to me.
That's 6 hours he's got to play with.
Now, I put my phone on airplane mode when I'm flying. A lot of times I forget to take it off of airplane mode, especially my work phone. And then I'm like, why isn't my phone? And I'm serious. This has happened when I came back the last time from Vegas. I was like, my phone isn't ringing. I happen to look. It was still on airplane mode. 2 days later, I forgot to take it off of airplane mode. First thing I do is when I get off a flight, I grab my personal phone. I take it off of airplane mode. So this is not something that can accidentally happen. You have to slide it down. You have to hit the little plane. So no, he did this on purpose. Now, I just don't believe he didn't have help, just like they said. His truck was there. Doesn't mean he was there. But again, I go back to that 6-hour time period. And then you drove in the opposite direction, and that's where her helmet was found. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm leaning more and more to the husband, definitely.
That's where I'm going with it. I'm going to the husband, and I feel sad for the daughters.
Yes.
Because once you hear that your father is, you already know he had his phone on airplane mode. My first question would be, why would you put your phone on airplane mode? They're out camping. You don't know what can happen. They may need to get in touch with you. Things happen all the time. It's suspicious to me.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
So
I mean, I still would like to maybe just have whoever worked on our car DNA just to at least exclude them. That way they can put that to rest.
Well, they did exclude the guy who had the sexual assaults in Chicago and everywhere else. He was actually in Arizona. Yes, they're still investigating. They found her body, but they're still investigating.
Okay. So they did exclude him from that.
Yep,
Okay.
they said they excluded him. Now, it was something else I wanted to say. I saw in the chat, but I didn't want to stop the recording, and my mind is just gone right now. But I feel that with that 129 pages, and Jesse, I can email it to you so you can read it for yourself. They did a thorough, and you too, Ms. Camp, they did a thorough investigation. They knew this woman was deceased because there was a lack of evidence of life. They excluded her boyfriend completely.
Right. Your credit cards aren't working. You're not using your phone. Yeah. Now, I mean, does that... Well, she's been found now, so now they have a body. But prior to her being found,
there was no body.
Yeah, prior to her being found, and they had him charged and everything. I still kind of don't like the fact that they could put somebody to trial for murder within that 7 years without a body.
Well, they try no body cases all the time.
Yeah,
they do.
True.
But no body cases, and it's just convenient that your phone's off for 6 hours, and then when your phone's back on again, you're going in a completely opposite direction. Okay. I know what it was. Somebody asked, why get rid of it? Was Kat, U.S. Navy vet. Why off her? She wanted a divorce. She's been wanting a divorce. He moved them from Iowa to Colorado to get her away from her friends and her family. He isolated her. Can you see, you saw the house. Do you know this woman is going for cancer treatments? How far is this drive? He was isolating her from her family and friends.
And that's just typical behavior of somebody that would do. And again, I'm not even saying it was done on purpose. He might have just went into a rage and killed her.
I think he did.
But that's typical possessive behavior.
Yep, and he had a girlfriend, but I don't know how long he had the girlfriend. But she was seeing her ex. she was meeting her ex-high school friend, which is now her boyfriend. They started talking in 2018, started meeting up in 2019, and they had they started having consensual sex. Now, she was looking at houses where they were looking at houses. I don't know if he was virtually looking at houses, but they were looking at houses like the week before. She really wanted out of this marriage. And yes, Barry can be brought back on charges. When they drop the charges, they drop the charges with prejudice, meaning the charges can be brought back. So he can be charged. So, yep. So he's possessive, but that's what he did. And ladies, we have been live for almost 2 hours, and I've enjoyed this. Jesse, Miss Can't Be Wrong. This reminds me when I came on your panel, because we all have a different opinion, but we all seem to come to the same kind of conclusion here.
Yeah.
He's guilty as shit.
Yeah,
I think we just all have different ways of looking at things. And that's really good in like these types of things. Like, you need to be able to see different sides of things.
But the fact that when you guys brought up the fact that which threw me, because when we were talking, oh my God, what was it? But when I first heard about the unknown DNA, I'm like, that could have been somebody working in your car, because I know when I take my car to get detailed, all of these characters are sketchy as shit.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, my ex-husband used to do body work on cars. Sketchy as hell, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So, but I definitely have to say thank you. And we definitely need to do this again. Jesse, whatever case you're looking at or cases that you want to talk about, let me know. I'll run over there, because I really enjoyed being on your panel that day. And that's what I'm like, oh my God, I need to get her over there. So when we're discussing the case.
Well, same with you, Heidi. Same with you. Believe me, I enjoy this stuff. And
I love it too. I love it. Yeah.
See, I love this. And you got people that get upset because you got people on panel, which makes no sense to me.
We've been, a case that I've always been interested in, Dr. Jeffrey McDonald.
Yep, that's what we're working on right now. Yep. So, yeah, I have to get some stuff together and get it pulled together a little bit. But I have most of it down. So that's probably the next thing we're going to be working on.
Yeah, I've got pages and pages of stuff about him, because I grew up hearing about that case my whole life.
So, oh my God. See, that case.
My whole
yep,
life.
So the Army doctor. Yes.
It was argued. I grew up 40 minutes from Fort Bragg, and that case was argued at Sunday dinner at home. My uncle went to his grave swearing that Jeffrey McDonald didn't kill his wife and kids. He would argue about it.
And that case is the most litigated murder case in history.
Yep.
Yes, please drop the channel link one more time for the iTalk ladies, please. But I'm telling you, when you guys want to do, that case is embedded in my, because when I first heard about it, then he said the hippies and, but they knocked him out.
Well, it was a year after Manson, and they had wrote pig in blood on his headboard, and it was like he was trying to mimic the Manson.
And that's what I think, and after the years when you start, and then with the father and with her stepmom. Yeah, that was her stepmom.
Yep.
Was it the stepmom? Okay, so when you started hearing about the case and how many times he took him to trial, and I'm just looking at him and I'm going, could he have killed his daughters too? And when you start hearing more evidence, you're like, yeah. Then you go back to nah, but just the hippie, the woman with it was just weird to me. And it was trying to like a mimic of Charles Manson and his crew. And that's the conclusion that I came to as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so much. There's so much about that case. We got to do it, though. We got to do it.
We will.
Hold on a second. I got to find the ladies of iTalk. It was dropped in the chat. Let me see, can I find it? Because they did drop it. They did drop it before. Kat, I'm going to have to, hold on. Let me see. Can I find the ladies of iTalk really quick so I can drop their link again? But this to me, they need to do, he is guilty. And I believe that.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies. Jesse, I'm going to jump down. Heidi, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think I'm going to jump down too, Heidi.
Yep, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I've enjoyed. Thank you for dropping the link again, and drop Jesse Roth's link again, please. Please. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you again, Heidi.
Thank you, Jesse.
Bye-bye.
Guys, bye. I am going to get, well, first I want to know what you guys are cooking before I get out of here. Yesterday I found some organic collard greens, some organic mustard greens. I cleaned those last night. They're cooking. I'm going to roast a chicken and I'm going to be done with it. Yep, just like Murdoch. Yep, just like him. Let me get Jesse's channel real quick. Let me get Jesse Roth. Hold on. That's what I'm cooking today. And then I'm just going to take it easy. Well, I need to make a run with my granddaughter. And then I'm going to be home. Oh, you're making chili. Oh, okay. I miss my brother's chili. Oh my God, I miss my brother's chili. I make chili too. No, thank you, ladies. I really, really appreciated that. Oh, you made dirty rice, homemade. Wait a minute. Dirty rice, homemade meatballs and broccoli. Oh, now I'm from. And Jesse's got a new B song out. It's called Naughty Naughty B. No, but today I feel like going Southern, and I'm just gonna roast some. Oh my God, my granddaughter just talking about it's her birthday weekend, so she wants Taco Bell. If she wants Taco Bell, she can. But I'm cooking, so. And just like yesterday, I did the lobster, I did salmon, and I did shrimp. So, and then she ate last night. Play it real quick. Hold on. I need to go get it. Let me see. Naughty Naughty B. Hold on. Let me. Hold on. Let me. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get it.
So stupid because.
Hold on. Let me get it. Got it? Okay.
Guys, I have been such a naughty bee. Yeah, so I peeked in on Jesse's show, and I don't know what her asking for an apology has to do with anything. Except I'm so stupid because I wasn't in the community as long as she was to know that her apology had everything to do with the reason why her guest was on. And Jesse, show your face, even though you've shown it before. But again, I'm too dumb to realize I haven't been around long enough to know that, Jesse, you have shown your face. So that's that. Jesse and I don't talk anymore. It's because I was an obnoxious little bitch.
So I heard last night when I was in Angel's Live that Angela took panel with Jesse and they talked out whatever issues they may have had. I didn't see it. When I heard Angel talk about it last night, I said, I need to go and take a look. So that upset her because Angela and Jesse had a conversation and they just squash whatever was going on between them. That sounds so stupid to me, but you're the ones that was calling people racist and this and that, but yet you're running to their panels because you need backup. Girl, sit the fuck down somewhere and stop. Look at yourself. Michael says, take a look at the man in the mirror, or in this case, the bee in the mirror. I think we should, you know what? I'm going to have to load that filter up. And Jesse, the next time you do it, you got to be more exaggerate. You got to over exaggerate the eyes and stuff. I'm going to go watch it. I heard Angel talking about it, but why? You're the biggest snitch. You are a known confidential informant. You snitch on every goddamn body. You pollinate every panel. Oh, and fun fact, guys, so-and-so was in this chat. And oh, yes, and fun fact. Shut the fuck up. She can't copyright something that don't belong to her. That's the funniest part. Well, I think we are going to start using the bee costume. I gotta download Snapchat. Matter of fact, I have Snapchat. I'm going to have to find out where it's at, 'cause I think it left from Snapchat. But anyway, Jesse, I'm going to go watch your live where Angela, when you and Angela had your conversation. What? No, I didn't know that. Pam, her name is the bee in here. Her name is the bee. Her name is the bee. Or Julie. I've heard you guys had a long relationship. Even Angel said it. Oh my God. Oh Lord, I wish somebody go in there and mate with her so she can just die. Because after the queen bee mates, they just get killed off. Let's let me stop. I'm gonna get out of here. And I saw we're gonna have good food today. Danny, I need to call you. So I want to be clear. When I said she was an internet hoe, I said it because she buzzing around from panel to panel to panel with abusive ass men. And when I say and that's what I mean by that. So that's what I mean by that. Not the fact that you got a lot of dick off the internet, but you talk about other people doing that. But that's what I mean by that. Why would Breezy hate Carlos? Breezy, why would you hate Carlos? No, she's no queen fucking bee. And you shouldn't feel bad about handling it. And if you guys had this internet thing and you handle it on the internet. I don't understand why would she be mad at Breezy for not being mad at Carlos. Scatamala, that is my new word. I love when Carlos says Scatamala. Love when he says it. Scatamala. If we want to refer to it in here, the name is Scatamala. She's mad because Carlos offended Suge when he said the N-word, and I refuse to be mad. Why would you be mad at Carlos? Carlos didn't say it. And I'm going to tell you, I do not believe, from what I've seen, that he's racist. I'm talking about stand-up guy. I was upset because he used that word. There was a lot of other words he could have used, but he used that word. So I just want to be clear on that. Just want to be clear. Yeah, cupcake. Yeah, I just want to be clear on that. I do not believe that stand-up guy, he has not shown me anything that says he's racist. I just said I was offended by the fact that he used that word when there were a lot of other words to use at that time. Point blank, period. And you can support who you want, and that's exactly true. So all of this being mad about shit that don't concern you, I don't get it. It has nothing to do with you. But you thought it was okay when Jen said they should have hung me on a tree. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. And then you want to use the fact about her mental health. Girl, stop. Just stop with the bullshit. You surround yourself with abusive, nasty ass men, but yet you afraid of men. But when I go to Portillo's, I have some questions to ask because I pulled a picture up and I got some questions to ask. I was sent something with someone's picture and I definitely have some questions to ask. Yep, I just hate the word. I just don't. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you sit there while he says shit about people's kids, their wives, and it's okay. But when shit happens to you, that's when you want people to go, ooh, poor thing. Fuck you. Fuck you. So anyway, let me stop. Before I get a call from my son, let me stop. I just can't. I can't listen to the words that comes out of your fucking mouth and then look back on the shit that you've done and said. As I said, it's not iTunes, it's YouTube. You support some of the nastiest fucking people. Of course she is. Anybody that doesn't like the same people she likes, she's going to support. Even if she has no morals, no integrity, no nothing. She stands for nothing unless it's about her. That's why when Bambi, I didn't give a fuck. And I didn't. So, again, stop it. Just stop. Yeah, Danny, I'm going to call you because I have some information to give you. I've already given it to Crazy Cat Mama, so I will let you know. Yeah. She don't give a fuck, but she uses people, period. That's what she does. She uses people. And then when she doesn't have any more use for them, you know, she always has a reason to get rid of them. And then she wants to turn everybody else against them. Cut that shit out. Just cut it out. God, I don't like that woman. Thank you. Just remove yourself from it. If you learn to let people, if people want to leave you, let them leave. Got people sending me messages. What? But I don't want issues with. Fuck her. What's she gonna do? Get up there and call you CNTs, PADs, bitch. What? What else she gonna do? The minute you go at her, she want to run to the fucking cops. Shut the fuck up. Oh, I can't. Anyway, we've had a nice stream. Thank you, the ladies of High Top. People are victims with zero accountability and spin shit upside down to make themselves look right. And I don't know if you know the B or not, but that's exactly who she is. She does think, oh, because so-and-so did this, so I did. No. Take accountability for your bullshit. And again, let's clear this up. I heard this on TL's thing before I get out of here. I never said I wanted to meet you. I was supposed to be meeting Tyrese and Tracy in Vegas. You were going to ride with Tyrese. Remember? We were never friends. You blew up my IG. Call. And guess what? When I talked to Angela, and she's going to take over the nonprofit and this, that, and the other. Okay, let's stop. Let's just stop. So, stop it. I love you guys. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go put my chicken in the roaster. My food smells so good. Love you guys. Do I have potatoes? Because I wanted to make potato salad. I don't feel like running to the store. Yes, no accountability. You guys have a happy Sunday. I think I'm going to put on a football game. They got some fine football players right now. Jesus Christ. I don't even have to like the team. Wait a minute, Breezy. I got to put that up. Hold on. All of her brainwashed minions are stalking me. Go suck. Third shift Beto, I'm ready to take over fourth shift. Just let me know when you get tired, okay? I'm ready. Because after all, TL and I are sharing this damn account. So I need to know when you need me to step in. I'm ready. That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. But if you sit in that chat and you hear the same shit and you've been hearing it for years, you know damn well she's spinning a narrative, but you steady going with it. You're steady doing it. You're just as fucking guilty. So Tara, is that Tara Nicole? Is that the lady that was on Shug's channel that night, on Stand Up Guy's channel? Is that the Tara we're talking about? Because is that the Tara? Okay. Is that the Tara? Yes. Okay. All right. I heard her on Shug that night, and I heard she was upset about what happened to her child. I'm not going to repeat it, but it was disgusting. It was really, really disgusting to say that about a child. But then I expect nothing less. I expect nothing less. All right, guys. I really, really have to go. You guys have a great Sunday. Probably going to be back on Monday or Tuesday. And then and then we'll be off to an adventure. Oh, Tyra uses the N-word too? Well, damn. All the words they have to use. I just don't. I don't. Bye, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Let me get myself out of here. I'm going to play my little Winning when I go out because I love that song. Have a great Sunday, guys. Thank you. Ladies of iTalk, I'm getting off of here, and I need to go subscribe to your channel. Bye, guys.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens.